Well, it's official, y'all. It was reported that Adam Humphries was visiting with the team earlier this morning, and he has officially been signed to a 1-year deal. First of all, you already know, it's your boy Rico from Street Scores coming with a quick report. Wanted to immediately react to this and give y'all some of my opinions on it and analyze the situation. Well, first of all, connections-wise, Adam Humphries played along Ryan Fitzpatrick back in Tampa Bay. And it's interesting to note that Adam Humphries' best years were in Tampa Bay with Ryan Fitzpatrick. 2016, 2017, and 2018, he was able to put up 2,084 receiving yards, 8 touchdowns, and 111 first downs. Again, he is a chain mover. No coincidence. It's just one of those things where if he can stay healthy, this is going to be one of our most impactful signings. Again, I don't think it's Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, but it's definitely up there. And he was also the Bucs punt returner when Nate Kaxer was their special teams coordinator, and now he's ours. So Adam Humphries is basically going to be, as of today, our starting slot guy, and more than likely our starting returner. I feel like we brought back Danny Johnson just in case to be a decent return option, but we've seen he can't stay healthy. So Adam Humphries should step in and be our day one starter for returns and in the slot. And that doesn't necessarily mean we won't address receiver in the draft at all, but now it'll be one of the later picks rather than the first 2 or 3 rounds. So this is more like filling immediate need so that we can go best player available as much as possible in the draft, basically, which I'm a fan of. Do whatever you got to do in free agency to fill as many needs as possible so that when the draft comes around, you're not out here forcing picks where you're not taking the best guy available because you're like, man, we really have to fill this need right now. So I love this signing a lot. It's to a 1-year deal. The numbers haven't exactly come out yet, but I know it's going to be pretty cheap. And it's pretty funny too because Ryan Fitzpatrick and Adam Humphries had a pretty good game against the Panthers back in 2018 against Ron Rivera's Panthers. So it's always funny to see Ron Rivera either sign a guy from the Panthers or people that have played well against the Panthers in recent seasons. I like the strategy. Hey, man, can't beat them. Join them. Bring them to your team and let them do that to other teams. Ryan Fitzpatrick even threw a touchdown to Adam Humphries back in 2018. And this is a pretty good wide receiver unit. If you think about it, Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, wide receiver 1. Number 2, you would assume Adam Humphries steps in as your immediate starting slot guy, so technically he's 3rd. Then you have Cam Sims, Kelvin Harmon, who has a lot of potential, Steven Sims, Antonio Gandy-Golden, Isaiah Wright. There's still the potential that they trade for or wait till the Patriots release him to N'Keal Harry and then sign them then. Because Adam Humphries does not make you stop trying to acquire N'Keal Harry if you were interested in him in the first place. So we'll see how that goes, but this is a pretty solid wide receiver core. Wouldn't consider it the best in the NFL, but it literally went from being, just Terry McLaurin and a bunch of guys with potential to now we have 3 guarantees and some more potential around it, from pretty bad with Terry McLaurin carrying it to actually pretty good and one of the league's best, especially with a quarterback like Ryan Fitzpatrick who's just going to sling the ball around fearlessly. He's going to throw it in one-on-one matchups. Ryan Fitzpatrick is not the type to wait for a wide receiver to be wide open before he tries to target him. Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and Adam Humphries will get targets even when the coverage is relatively good. He's going to allow them to make their plays, which is going to give a lot of them stat boosts this season. And Adam Humphries is admittedly one of the better slot guys in the NFL. Granted, his season hasn't been so great and very consistent, but he has had big highlights throughout his career. And you can just tell that Scott Turner and Ron Rivera have seen some of his film and was like, we can get that right there out of him more consistently than other teams have been able to. And Adam Humphries, he's coming with route running. He's not afraid. You remember with Trey Quinn, where he was afraid to catch the ball over the middle? It seemed like anywhere else he was solid, but as soon as he ran over the middle and was afraid to get hit by linebackers, it was over with for Trey Quinn. Adam Humphries catches those. And of course, he's a great chain mover on 3rd downs and things like that. He's your go-to, gonna be open slot guy. And again, along with Curtis Samuel and Terry McLaurin on the outside, Curtis Samuel doing everything in the backfield as well. Antonio Gibson, J.D. McKissick, Logan Thomas. Man, I just don't know who you exactly cover, honestly. And most importantly, like I mentioned earlier, we're going from Steven Sims and Trey Quinn to Adam Humphries and Curtis Samuel. Curtis Samuel is going to, possibly occasionally be in the slot. He's not just going to be completely outside. He's going to move around everywhere. X receiver, Y receiver, Z receiver, getting the ball out of the backfield, screens and everything. High usage type of guy. But now we have our go-to slot guy, and Curtis Samuel can now move all around the field and not have to primarily be in the slot like he has been in some seasons with the Panthers. And for those of y'all who don't know, since 2015, which is when he was drafted, he has 215 catches, which is 11th in the NFL, and 2,281 yards, which is 18th in the NFL. So that's a lot of great production, especially out of your third receiver. And this pretty much just seals the fate for Steven Sims. Again, he's replacing Steven Sims in slot and the return game. So, like I said, this is not going to necessarily stop us from taking receiver in the draft, but it does allow us to address the receiver position later in the draft. So I'm excited about this move, man. It's not as impactful as a Curtis Samuel, as a William Jackson, as a Ryan Fitzpatrick, but it's definitely more impactful, easily more impactful than any of the other signings we've made, like Tyler Lawson and Cam Sims and Kyle Allen and all of those guys. Definitely a tier above that. He's definitely going to have an immediate impact. And again, I just want to go with nice, dependable, veteran presences at certain positions so they can address things like receiver later in the draft. And during the draft, they're going to go best player available as much as possible, because now we don't really have any huge holes. I would still say free safety and linebacker. We should definitely get some guys in free agency, and if not, we need to address that early in free agency. But, I mean, offensive lineman, receiver, all of these positions aren't like huge needs, and you can wait to address these positions later into the draft. So I love this. So I love us attacking free agency the way we've done this season. Love it. Wish we could have gotten Adam Humphries to maybe like a cheap 2-3 year deal, but a 1 year prove-it deal for him to play his tail off to earn his next contract when the salary cap goes up next season. I'm not mad at it. Expect to get potentially his best season he's ever had in the NFL, especially with the two guys on the outside taking away all of the attention from defenses, and Ryan Fitzpatrick having the gunslinger mentality that he has and the chemistry that he has with Ryan Fitzpatrick. Adam Humphries right now has the most chemistry with our projected starting quarterback out of our entire receiver core, and that has to matter some, especially during training camp and the summer practices when Ryan Fitzpatrick and Taylor Heineke are competing against each other. Ryan Fitzpatrick will have a dependable guy that he has chemistry with in Adam Humphries to target whenever necessary, and which could also help him earn that starting QB job. So I just see them feeding each other and making each other better early as Ryan Fitzpatrick learns to gain chemistry with Terry McLaurin, Curtis Samuel, and all of the other guys. But yeah, man, that's the end of this quick analysis and reaction. Please like this video if you liked it. If you learned anything, please subscribe. If you haven't, hit the bell next to the subscription button so you get notification every time I release an informative video like this one. My live streams, mock drafts, film sessions. I've been working on the William Jackson film session all day today, so that will either come out just late tonight or early tomorrow. So be on the lookout for that. And as always, like, the channel members are going to get the more extensive version with multiple examples of each point, whereas the general public, the one that I'll post for everybody to see, will just get the shortened version of the film session. So definitely become a channel member so you can get the full length William Jackson film session with every play that I'm looking at, not just, you know, one or two of each example that I'm talking about. But as always, man, I really appreciate all y'all. I'll catch y'all later. Let me know in the comment section how you feel about this signing. I'm out.